It is July 25th. It is a freshly shaved MrWarrenHayes, and this is another daily G1 CLIMAX 33 recap. We're going to be recapping night 7 right now. Thank you for letting me into your ears and eyes today. I appreciate it a great deal, whether it's on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes or on your favorite podcast application. I'm there. We're doing this, and we're moving on to another night of action in the G1. I haven't missed a single night so far. This was my big concern, right? Haven't missed one so far. Haven't had to combine two or whatnot. This is going very smoothly. I'm pretty proud of myself. It's like, geez. And I'm sure some of you are out there going, Warren, the bar's in the mud. If you're proud of that, hey, listen, what do you want from me? Let's get right to it. Look, we're coming off the glorious night 5 that A and B block gave us a couple of nights ago, and we are fresh off the dismal night 6 that blocks C and D gave us. So we are an absolute step up from night 6. As it pertains to night 7, not necessarily a top to bottom great show, but there is enough great stuff here to make this a very good, we're gonna get ourselves an overall good review of the show, despite the fact that there's a couple of moments on this show, a couple of matches on the show where you can absolutely gloss over, but we're gonna get into the specifics. Let's go with the results first and foremost. For the A block, Shota Umino defeated Gabriel Kidd. Yota Tsujji defeated Chase Owens. Hikuleo defeated Ren Narita. And SANADA defeated Kaito Kiyomiya. As for block B, Will Ospreay defeated Great Okan. KENTA defeated Taichi. El Phantasmo defeated Tanga Loa, and Kazuchika Okada defeated YOSHI-HASHI. So we might as well get right to it, start talking about the action. I'm going to go with A block to begin with, right? And the first A block match we had was Shota Umino versus Gabe Kidd. We got Gabe Kidd doing the attacking during the entrance, right? We saw Ren Narita a couple of nights ago, being ready for it, swinging the chair at Gabe Kidd and, making sure, not swinging the chair, but because Gabe Kidd was coming in with a chair, but making sure that Gabe Kidd wouldn't be able to swing a chair. So Ren Narita had his brain going. Shota comes in through the audience, right? So he was probably feeling very safe and secure. He was like, Gabe Kidd isn't gonna, he's not gonna come after me. He doesn't even know where I'm coming out from. Well, clearly Gabe Kidd got some insider scoop information. He was able to glean some info, and he attacked our boy Shota during his entrance in the crowd. They make their way in the ring. Kidd suplexes Umino on the apron, and he gets, at some point he gets some heat grabbing a Shota Umino banner from a family enjoying pro wrestling and their favorite pro wrestler, Shota Umino, a family, mom, dad, and their 2 kids, one a baby. Grabbed the banner and, strangled Umino with it, and then ran it between his legs. Got it all scroted up. But this was fine. It was all right. The match in about itself was, acceptable. Nothing great. I wouldn't even, I'd say it's a little, just on the verge of being, a tad boring, if we want to put it that way. What are we? We're on night 7 right here. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, that's it. I gave it like a base average kind of rating to it. If you're into it, it's about a 3 in my brain, and that's pretty much it. Umino gets his first win off of the G1. It was perfectly competent, not spectacular. That's all I got for you on this one. No need to spend more time on it. Tsujji, though, defeated Chase Owens. Again, the Bullet Club guys are all sneaking. They're all doing sneak attacks and stuff like that, attacking before the bell and all that jazz. And that's what Chase Owens does. Tsujji does a moonsault to the floor. Get a heat segment by Chase Owens as well. Flying head scissors off the turnbuckle by Tsujji and a suicide dive. I mean, this guy is just, this guy is the guy, right? Huge chance from the audience. Korakuen loves him. Chase Owens counters a spear, lands the jewel heist, and Tsujji kicks out at 1 on that one. Avoids the package pile driver. Knee strike by Tsujji. He no-sells Chase Owens' offense. Does a big headbutt to take him down. Does the stomp and the spear, and we're done. This is Tsujji's not only Tsujji's first G1 victory, but his first victory in New Japan since returning from excursion. That's a big deal. So right now he is 0-2-1 in the tournament. The match was okay with a pretty dynamic final stretch, I'd say. Chase Owens played the heel pretty well to make the comeback significant, but the crowd was into this, and Tsujji, man, he's special. We've been talking a lot about how special he is, so just add that onto the pile. Passable match, that's fine, fine, good little match. Let's move on. Hikuleo defeats Ren Narita. Now, listen, I really did not like this match. I did not like this match, and this I believe is, I would consider being my most surprising result of the G1 so far. This is something that I absolutely did not see coming. Don't know why anyone would. You're having one of your anointed musketeers take a loss to Hikuleo, of all people, who is, just a very tall gentleman. But if anything in this match here, I saw more spark out of Hikuleo than anything else he's done recently. Maybe because he was getting a win in the G1. Maybe he was because he was getting a win over one of the anointed dudes. But this match in and about itself, I did not think was exciting. I didn't think it was compelling. The idea, if the idea was for Ren Narita, again, one of the musketeers, to look outclassed by lower mid-card denizen Hikuleo, hey, it worked. It worked. It looked like he was outclassed. But again, he's supposed to be one of the musketeers. It's really weird that Narita takes a loss here to Hikuleo. Like I said, basic undercard guy. I think it's very strange. And it doesn't bode well for Narita's future in this tournament moving on. In a tournament, in my preview when I was talking about it, if there was one guy out of the three who needed a strong, powerful, I wouldn't say dominant, but significant G1 presence, both in performance and in victories, it was Narita. I think he's the one out of the three musketeers who, who's lacking the most. It's strange to me that they decided to go down this route. Listen, this is where we're at. Hikuleo picks up his first 2 points of the tournament, and Narita is what? He's like 0-2-2? Isn't that the thing? Let me pull this up here. Ren Narita. Yeah, he's 0-2-2. Not looking good. And then that brings us to the main event, where SANADA defeated Kaito Kiyomiya within a hair of a time limit draw. And this match fucking ruled. This was incredible. A fantastic main event to put this away. And listen, you look what we had here, of course, were two guys who have Kaiji Muto as mentors, right? So, of course, you have that little battle going on. You have Kaiji sitting at home, with a big old grin on his face going, haha, they will always remember me, kind of things like, because they're doing all the moves. But listen, look, honestly, Kiyomiya in this match, this is unquestionably his best match of the G1 so far. And I would even say this is SANADA's best one of the G1 so far. These guys just connected and clicked. This didn't come across as Kiyomiya being underclassed here. We're not in a Hikuleo Ren Narita type of situation. We have Hikuleo, not Hikuleo. We have Kaito here taking it to the champ. I mean, he is a former world champion himself. You can sit on whatever side you want of the Noah New Japan fandom, and I don't know how to feel about commentary being look, I can appreciate commentary being wanting to be, wanting to cheer for the home crowd and that and whatnot. But sometimes it feels a little contrived. Sometimes it feels a little dorky, where it's like, well, Kaito Kiyomiya, this kid comes in here, Kevin Kelly gives us the impression that he's got a bone to pick with this kid. I guess that's okay. At some point, it gets a little corny, but there's Kiyomiya has these nice control segments, and of course, they play the hits at some point early in the match, especially SANADA, where he does his drop kick followed by the pescado. He does a magic killer on the floor, and SANADA even does the moonsault into the skull end, but then Kiyomiya wriggles out of it and then drop kicks SANADA's knee, and SANADA's knee would become the story of this match because, of course, within Kiyomiya's arsenal is the figure four, another thing he's inherited by one Kaiji Muto, and he does lock in the figure four eventually. And we have a struggle spot, not unlike what happened 2 nights ago with Kiyomiya against Shota Umino. And the reason why this struggle spot worked so well, like I was on the edge of my seat because SANADA was trying to pull out and was trying to roll, he rolled things over at some point, but Kiyomiya stayed in control during this entire spot with the figure four. Kiyomiya was doing everything, everything he did against Umino, where he was, whacking the knee and torquing back and whatnot. If we had not had that spot, I believe on night 5, where I think Umino stayed in the figure four for like 70 minutes. Well, I'm exaggerating, of course, but you know what I mean. Like he stayed in there for like forever, and that eventually did lead to his downfall in that match. I don't think this would have been as successful because Kiyomiya was clearly in control here. But eventually, SANADA, as opposed to Umino, does reach the ropes at the 15-minute mark, and SANADA's knee is shot. He tried, he tries to do some flippy stuff, but it doesn't work. He lands a Tiger Driver, though, a TKO. And we're 3 minutes in. We have the swinging skull end. He goes for the moonsault, but Kiyomiya moves away. SANADA lands on his feet, but his knee buckles. Kiyomiya lands a Shining Wizard, but he can't get he's exhausted. Can't get the pin. Loud Kiyomiya chants. Kaito, Kaito. They're starting to land some strikes on each other at 2 minutes. Like this final stretch, these final 3 minutes were fantastic. We get a Tiger Suplex by Kiyomiya, pop-up cutter by SANADA at a minute in. We get a Shining Wizard by Kiyomiya that SANADA avoids. He goes for SANADA goes for the deadfall and Kiyomiya avoids that. 20 seconds in, Shining Wizard by SANADA and gets the win. Chris Charlton calls it at 19 minutes, 58 seconds. Same on cage match. 19 minutes, 58 seconds. What a fantastic. I love this match. It's up there with one of my favorite matches of the tournament. I've got 3 right now. And this is my 3rd as far as my favorite matches. This one was outstanding. Fantastic main event. And like I said, unquestionably SANADA's best match in the G1. And it was just a great build to a legitimately super exciting finish. And again, another reason why we got excited for the time limit draws is that we've seen time limit draws in this tournament. We've seen a few. So it becomes plausible in the minds of us as we're watching. It's like, oh, they might go time here, as opposed to when it's the 30-minute draws and they never really do it. Now we've got draws galore because of the 20-minute time limit, and we felt it could go time here because that's just how it goes. But razor finish, I love this. Pros doing professional stuff. And like I said, both of these guys was their best match of the tournament so far. This was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That wraps up Block A for now. And as it stands right now, SANADA's at the top with 8 points. Kaito Kiyomiya eats his first loss of the tournament. He's at 5. Chase Owens, Gabriel Kidd, Shota Umino, all at 4 points. Yota Tsujji at 3. And Narita and Hikuleo rounding up the bottom at 2 points. I'm still stunned that Ren Narita is all the way down there. So that does it for A block. And now we break down the B block. Started off, the first match of the entire show actually was Will Ospreay defeating the Great Khan, which was fantastic. This, as an opener, as a starter, as one where you start dipping your toes in, this blew me away. Plenty of even back and forth to start off between these two guys of the same faction. Great Khan uses his striking. Will tries to go aerial as much as he can. And, Great Khan, his things turn in his favor when he dumps Will Ospreay over the top rope, like literally has him like in a sack of shit and just dumps him over. They go into the audience. Will Ospreay throws into some chairs. Back in the ring, there's a ref bump. And Great Khan uses the mist on his boy. There's even a pescado by Great Khan. He's bringing out the big guns here. Will Ospreay flips out of the eliminator, lands a hook kick, but Great Khan turns him inside out with a huge lariat that sold me on a finish there. We get a Spanish fly by Will Ospreay. Man, Korakuen Hall is into this one too. They're really excited. Get the Oz Cutter and the Leap of Faith for the win. Great hot opener, dynamic, lit up the crowd. Great Khan, as expected. Right, we had talked about it, but no big surprise. Decided to turn it up in this match because of his buddy. We'll see how things go with Okada. Between Will and Okada, that will definitely be the turning point for the story of the rest of the tournament here, because Will is dangerously getting up there at the top of the block, where he should be, if we're being honest. This was a great opener. Fun match. Then we had KENTA defeating Taichi. So this seemed longer than it was. I think Cage Match has the match. I not only think I'm going to check. He has the match at 2 minutes and 11 seconds. But as is, with a lot of KENTA matches these days, outside of the one with Will Ospreay, there's a lot of shtick. So the shtick to this match is that they're comparing titles and they're having people cheer for titles. And then Yoshinobu Kanemaru gets involved to be a judge as to who has the better title. Is it the Defy title or is it the King of Pro Wrestling title? And all this sucks. And the match sucks. And this is very disappointing. Because I think Taichi rules, and there was nothing to do here, and this stunk. This is what I wrote in my notes. For those of you watching, meh. Let's move on. I got nothing for you, and I'm not even gonna rail on KENTA being dull as dirt and boring. KENTA brings the effort when it's time, when he wants, I should say. And clearly he wasn't interested in it tonight. Then we get El Phantasmo versus Tanga Loa. I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to, quite frankly, because I think these guys meshed really well. You know, there's some ELP silliness to start, but it spills on the floor, and ELP does this great spot running off the stands. He gets into the stands within the fans, and he runs off the stands. It's like a conhilo on over the guardrail onto the floor, like just a great spot. Tanga Loa anti-air ZLP back in the ring with a spear. He lands a boss man slam, and a blue thunder bomb and a jackhammer, but he can't put El Phantasmo away. He even does the power bomb off the second turnbuckle, but ELP mounts his comeback. His right shoulder is still a thing. Tanga Loa has him up for a body slam, but El Phantasmo wriggles out and wriggles into a crucifix, actually, to get the win. So, ELP finally gets 2 points on the board, but this wasn't exactly a dominant win. It wasn't exactly a mind blower of a match either, but I will say it was solid. I think this was Tanga Loa's best G1 match. I mean, sure, when the bar is so low, but nonetheless, I thought he looked really good here. He served as a very good opponent, a base for ELP. Like, I feel like these two guys worked really well together, and it showed. Like I said, this is not a dominant win for ELP. This was an underdog, come from behind win where he's getting the shit beat out of him. This match was pretty good. Solid stuff. It's nothing that we're going to be remembering by the end of this review, but it was fine. And then the Block B main event, the semi-main event, Kazuchika Okada defeated YOSHI-HASHI. All right, now this match. Now, I thought that the mid-card matches, outside of the opener, I thought they all were those that were average, that were fine, that were pretty good, like ELP versus Tanga Loa. They stood out because I thought the rest of the card was pretty bland. You had to sit through Hikuleo versus Ren Narita, which really wasn't good. You had, the KENTA Taichi match really wasn't very good. Gabe Kid Shota Umino wasn't anything special. So there was a lot of stuff to carry. Now we get to Kazuchika Okada and YOSHI-HASHI, and I wrote down my notes here. All right, now we're cooking, because this was very good. This was a great match, actually, and another great showing by YOSHI-HASHI here. And look, Okada in this match, he's being a dick. He's being a dick to his buddy. Doing single leg covers, and egging him on, and just being a jerk. But, you can tell that, especially since at the end they fist bump each other, they're still friends. There's no big chaos breakup happening here. You could tell that, you can see that, after all, it is just Okada's way of trying to fire up YOSHI-HASHI and get the best out of him, and I think he did. Great chemistry between the two. And it's another great G1 showing by YOSHI-HASHI in this match here. Striking, doing some great strikes, and getting us into some really great dramatic spots when he's avoiding, there's this one spot that I really love where Okada winds him up for the Rainmaker, but it's YOSHI-HASHI that lands the clothesline instead. Then he follows up with a Kumigoroshi, and Okada even tries the sit-down pin. We get the money clip on top of that. YOSHI-HASHI avoids a few Rainmaker attempts. Then he runs into a drop kick followed by the landslide at 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, we're done, but not quite. More Rainmaker attempts are thwarted. Okada gets rolled up by YOSHI-HASHI, and I'm like, oh shit. We're in and out of moves. YOSHI-HASHI clasps onto Okada's back, tries to go for the crucifix bomb, which gave him 2 wins, but it's blocked. Landslide, Rainmaker proper. We're gone. We're good. Okada lands another 2 points. I cannot believe that, what was it, 2 years ago? We were talking about, and when I say we, I exclude myself from this conversation. we were talking about Okada being washed. I cannot believe that that conversation was a thing. I mean, I was talking about his back. Like, I think he got us all when it comes to, his back, his hernia. You remember that? That was the whole part where everyone was saying, oh, Okada's washed, right? And then next thing you know, by the end of the year, he's in Wrestle Kingdom and he's lighting the place up. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with us? Okada's washed. He's not. What? And there's a reason why this guy is still the guy and still as significant and important as he is. And people talk about him with reverence and excitement because he's silky smooth. He is spot on precise. He owns the building when he comes into it. He is such a huge star and so critical to this company. Anyway, this match was full of great action, high impact stuff, dramatic on top of that. Another great showing by YOSHI-HASHI. And again, like, we're going to be talking about MVPs of the tournament. Right now, I know this is something that is typically reserved for Tomohiro Ishii, but right now, you'd be hard. I think YOSHI-HASHI is the clubhouse favorite right now. What a performance. Anyway, that brings us to where we stand right now on the B block. Kazuchika Okada with 8 points. Will Ospreay with 6. Taichi, YOSHI-HASHI, KENTA with 4. And then Tanga Loa, Great-O-Khan, and El Phantasmo wrap it up with 2 points. As for my recommendations, well, you absolutely have to watch the main event. I think that match ruled. You can also absolutely watch Kazuchika Okada versus YOSHI-HASHI. I think those would be my 2 really strong recommendations. And if you're just into a neat little Will Ospreay match that will only take about 10 minutes out of your life, and you want to see some spark from the Great-O-Khan, you want to see a good little match, those would be my 3 recommendations. But without a question, SANADA versus Kaito Kiyomiya, Kazuchika Okada versus YOSHI-HASHI. And those are without question. And then, I think you can absolutely, you can tack on Will Ospreay and Great-O-Khan there. It's a good time. Everything else, and you know what? Even if you wanted to say, look, Warren, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch the show. Everything else is skippable. Everything else on this show is skippable. It's really those 3 matches that matter. There's not even anything that is like, oh, maybe. No, I think everything else is skippable. Are we eliminating anyone today officially? No, I don't think so. I don't think we're in the environment of outright eliminations yet. But I still have some soft eliminations for you though. If we go with block A, look, I don't have the guts, I think, to put Ren Narita as a soft elimination right here today. I don't think I have the guts. I'm hesitant because I think what A block is going to become is a race for runner-up, for second place. I think that's what it's going to be. I think SANADA's running away with the block. But I'm hesitant to put Ren Narita there because he could make a play for second place. But listen, here's the thing. This is who he has left. He's got 3 matches left and he's got 2 points. Considering he wins all 3, that would bring him up to 8. That would make him a contender for second place. Because right now the second place is still pretty much all over. Let me put up A block here on the video. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, you'll be able to follow here. You see Narita right now, if he wins all 3 or even 2, he can still be a contender. But who is he beating? Is he beating SANADA? That would be the upset of the tournament. That's why I can't put it out of the realm of possibility that he might. Because this is the kind of thing Gato likes to do. Like, he's gonna have Narita eat shit, and then he's gonna pull off the big one. But he's got SANADA left, he's got Chase Owens left, and he's got Kiyomiya left. So if we take a look at when all of this is happening, let me pull this up here. SANADA is the next match. So this is happening in Ota City. And I told you guys, I'd be surprised if New Japan left Tokyo without a big surprise, without something big happening. And I think that might happen. So on July 27, we might end up with, Ren Narita scoring a surprise win over the world champion. That could be a thing. And, that could set up a title match between here and Wrestle Kingdom. And I think that's a perfectly acceptable one that SANADA can win and maintain his title and just give him a defense in the meantime. I think it makes sense. Narita should defeat Chase Owens, but what do I know? He lost to Hikuleo. So what the hell is going on? And Kiyomiya is on the last night of action for Block A and on August 5th. And that's the match that's making me hesitate from saying Narita is completely out of it. That's the only match there, unless he's just there to be a spoiler for Kiyomiya. What if Ren beats SANADA? What if he beats Chase Owens? That brings him up to 6 points. Kiyomiya's at 5 right now. Kiyomiya would have to lose his 2 next matches for it to be anything really significant between the two, or it could just be a spoiler thing. Look, we'll have to see how this turns out. It's just there's still scenarios in my mind where Narita could pull off anything. Now, if he loses against SANADA on Thursday, that boy's done. His tournament is over, officially over. I just can't put him, I can't soft eliminate him just yet. But yeah, look, I think Block A is a race for, it's going to turn out to be a race for second place. Now, if we go to B block, that's a different story here. Let me pull that back up here for those of you watching. I wouldn't count ELP out just yet, right? He has a loss against Okada, but he's facing Will Ospreay on the last night of block action. So again, these are that's a signal to me that he might be mounting a comeback here. On Thursday, he's fighting KENTA. Now that I'm thinking about it, the KENTA win against Taichi is probably just to create the doubt that, KENTA can sneak out a win on anyone. Might do it against El Phantasmo, despite the fact that technically Phantasmo should be able to win here. Phantasmo should also be able to win again against Taichi. I mean, that one's a little more up in the air, but he should. And then his last match on the 14th is against Will Ospreay, who will be fighting for the top spot with Kazuchika Okada. So, stranger things have happened, but Phantasmo getting 6 points, beating Will Ospreay, that's something that's a path that is possible for him to make it to second place, because he's not defeating Okada, because Okada has the tiebreaker on him. So we'll see what happens. He might come up and tie Ospreay, and then Ospreay beats him. These are the types of scenarios right now that keep me from soft eliminating El Phantasmo. However, I fear that Great Okan is out. He's lost to both block leaders at this point. So even if he does come on a comeback and wins his next 3 matches, bringing him up to 8, he's lost to Okada. And I think it is improbable that Will Ospreay will not win at least another match. So even if he ties both block leaders, he's still out, because the block leaders have eliminations on top of him. And I know, look, there's probably some funky elimination. There's probably some funky a scenario where Great-O-Khan can still make it, but Gato doesn't do the funky scenarios. He keeps it simple, easy to understand, easy to digest. So Great-O-Khan, if he loses at Ota City, he's officially eliminated. Like mathematically, he's done. But personally, right now, since he lost against Ospreay, I think I'm going to give him the soft elimination. I think he's done. And I think Tanga Loa is done as well. He's got Okada and Ospreay left. He's got Okada and Ospreay left. Who's his third guy? And Great-O-Khan. Like Great-O-Khan, maybe, but he's not beating Okada. He's not beating Ospreay. That's just not happening. Tanga Loa's tournament is, mathematically, he's still alive. That's why we're not giving him the big red X right now. But we can definitely soft eliminate him. He will not be moving forward. Just by what he has left on his stack. He wasn't able to climb the hill when he was with people that he could have had a chance with. Now Okada, Ospreay, no, let's just be realistic about it. So there you go. So that's where we're at right now. Once we get back though, on the 27th, there will absolutely be eliminations. There will be big red X's because now the math is going to start kicking in and you just can't deny mathematics. Or so I'm told. What's happening tomorrow, Warren? I'm glad you asked. Hinare takes on Evil for Block C. Let's run down the whole Block C. Actually, Shingo Takagi will be facing Mikey Nichols in a match that a month ago I'd be shrugging, but with the G1 that Nichols has been having, all right, I'm good with this one. I'm excited for it. Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston is probably the one that everyone is zeroed in. This will quite likely be Eddie Kingston's best match of the tournament. This is probably the reason why he signed up to fight Ishii in the G1 in Korakuen. He's not done yet, of course, but this will unlikely be anything less than great. I think that expectation is fair. This will be Eddie Kingston's best match of the tournament. And Tama Tonga will be taking on David Finlay. Some bad blood there. Probably scoring another win for Finlay, if you ask me. So that's for the ass kicker block. And then D block, we have Hiroki Goto versus Alex Coughlin. Hopefully we can get something out of Coughlin on this one here. And this one, this one is significant nonetheless because both Goto and Coughlin, Coughlin's, he still has 0 points and Goto's not doing great. This could be tournament ending for both of them. In fact, let's pull it up here. Didn't I soft eliminate Coughlin? Yeah, Coughlin to me is already out. I just remembered. Coughlin's already out in my mind. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Toru Yano. Fine. A night off for the ace. Tetsuya Naito versus Shane Haste. Look, the only danger that we have in this match here is that Shane Haste, he's the hysterical one, and he's been leaning into, being a goofball. And Naito likes, he likes to be a goofball too. So, that might actually play a little against us. We'll see what happens. And then the main event is going to be Jeff Cobb versus Zack Sabre Jr. That's top of the block action here. Both guys at 6 points. This is going to be a barn burner, a page turner, marker, a keynote, a keyframe moment, a milestone, whatever the hell you call it. But there you go. That's what's happening. That's what's happening on the 26th. Was I saying the 27th? That's the 26th that this is happening. It's happening tomorrow. Was I saying the 27th? I could be confused a little bit. I'm very, I'm still getting used to not having, being clean shaven. So listen, I want to thank you all for joining me today on this other G1 Climax recap. I will be back tomorrow for all the action that we just broke down. So be sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do, whether it's on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. I'm there. I'm ready, willing, and waiting just for you. And I hope you enjoyed it all. So see you tomorrow. And I will also be back with my Dynamite review on Thursday. In the meantime, in case you're into that too. But look, whenever we decide to see each other again, I will see you next time.